And continuing my conversation in depth, looking at the city of Youngstown and my conversation with Sheriff. Sheriff, your budget is one of the largest, if not the second largest allocation of the county. Could you speak to the budget and how these dollars are allocated and expended?
Well, one of our issues with, obviously our budget is certainly the biggest in Mahoning County, and it's at about $24 million. A lot of that has to do with increases in medical costs, increases in mental health costs with the inmates that we house there, obviously increases in pay of our officers, increases in workman's comp. I can go on and on about those issues. And plus just getting the numbers up manpower-wise where you need to be able to function properly.
But the Sheriff's Department was never intended to be the mental health housing entity for the county. How many, and do you have a separate module for housing individuals with mental health or individuals on psychotropic drugs?
Yeah, what I can say is, and I've heard this mentioned, and it's actually very true, that the Mahoning County Jail is the biggest mental health hospital in Mahoning County. And although that's a little bit humorous, the reality is if you think of us housing 500 inmates, which we could house up to 570, it's a pretty solid number that about 1/3 of those inmates are on some form of psychotropic medication. That's and that's very high. We have different pods. We have 13 different pods at the Mahoning County Sheriff's Office. We have a medical pod, we have a mental health pod, we have female pods, juvenile pods, and then we have different pods based on what type of crimes have been committed, and that's called classification of where they end up.
Classification and segregation.
Exactly. You're not going to want those individuals that were charged with murder in with somebody that's driving under a suspended license. So you classify those individuals. But one of the biggest things we have learned is certainly the mental health aspect of caring for these individuals. You know, people think that they're just in jail and that's it. Well, no, we have a 24/7 food service in that building. We have a 24/7 medical. We have a medical housing area in that facility. And then one of the most important things that we're looking at right now is the mental health. We have a psychiatrist that visits there a couple days a week. We have 2 different mental health associates that come in. They're counselors. They work with these individuals. We're also part of a program which is the Stepping Up program, which is helping these individuals once in identifying them if they have mental health issues, that we're able to work with them, see that they can get a place, and it's generally a nonprofit, but once they get released, where are they going to go?
You're a busy person.
And yes.
And I want to thank Mahoning County Sheriff Jerry Greene for going in depth with me today. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the Sheriff's Office adapted and how it adapted during COVID and its mission going forward to fight violence. I'm WQBN Community Affairs Director Dee Crawford.